Nicholas, how you doing, man? So this is what we went over today, okay? I want you to focus on the sheet, one of the sheets I sent you. In this case, it's the Drumeo 5-minute drum set warm-up. We're playing things a little bit differently. I'm going to use these as drum fills within the context of a drum groove, okay? And I want to get you focusing on number 1 and number 2. I think you can do number 1. I just think there might be some things getting lost in translation because we're not here in person, but that's okay. Because I really want to get you down the page, doing 3 and 4 and ultimately 5, but let's stick with 1 and 2. So we've done 1 before. We did it a while ago, but now you're reading the music. So what it is, it's the fill itself. It's 16th notes. So you're doing 4 on the snare, 4 on one rack tom, 4 on the other rack tom, 4 on the floor tom. So it's 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a. Okay, that's the drum fill. What I want you to do is play it coming out of a groove, a drum groove. In this case, I think this one you can do 90 beats a minute. If it's not comfortable, try it at 80 beats a minute, okay? So I'm going to play it at 90. All right? That's loud. So you find your 1, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. There it is. Okay, so it'll sound like this. 1, 2, here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 2, 3, 4. 3, 2. Here's the fill. 2, 3, 4. 2, 2, 3, 4. 3, 2. Here's the fill. Okay, that's fill number 1. So, or exercise number 1. The way it's written on the page, however, is different because it's just meant to be an exercise. I'm turning it into a drum fill to be played with a drum groove. If you did that as an exercise, this is what it would sound like, okay? If you notice, there's on the very bottom space, you see a bass drum hit because the first space is a bass drum hit. And then you go over a little bit below that, there's a little X. That's a hi-hat. And you're playing 8th notes because see how it's every other note? Everything is 16th notes, but what you're doing with your feet is every other note. That would make it 8th notes, right? Because 16th notes are 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a. Whereas 8th notes are 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So there's space between it, right? 8 notes versus 16 notes. So the exercise itself sounds like this. And I'll do it let's do the exercise at 80 beats a minute, okay? So here's your click, right? So you got quarter notes. Your feet are going to be doing this. 1, 2, 8th notes on the feet. Okay? Now this is the warm-up part, or just to practice doing this fill. You're going to do it over and over in this way. 1, 2, here come the hands. Okay, so that's exercise number 1 done within the context of a groove and on its own as it's written as just a drum warm-up, okay? Then number 2 is a little different. I'm just going to play the fill. What it is you've got 2 hits on the snare, 2 hits on the rack tom, 2 hits on the snare, 2 hits on the floor tom, 2 hits on the snare, 2 hits on the rack tom, the first rack tom, 2 hits on the snare, and then finally 2 hits on the floor tom. So if it sounds weird, it'll make more sense if I play it like this. So I'll get a metronome at, we'll do 80 beats a minute. We'll leave it there. So find the 1. There's 1, 2, 3, 4. So count ourselves in always, right? Here we go. 1, 2, just the fill. Okay, so snare, snare, tom, 1, snare, snare, floor, tom, snare, snare, tom, 1, snare, snare, floor, tom. Okay, so if we do that within the context of a drum groove, just like before when we were going, we're going to do that for 3 measures, right? A measure is counted in 4/4 time. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4/4 time. Remember, it's been a little bit, but that's the most common time signature. Most of what you hear on the radio is in 4/4 because you can count to 4 to it. That's basically it. There's 4 quarter notes for every measure. So every little space of music, it's going to be equivalent of 4 quarter notes. So in this case, we're going to play 3 measures. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4, 3, 2, 3, 4, and then the fills coming in. The kek boo boo kek boo boo kek boo boo kek boo boo. Okay? So I'm going to play it for you at 80 beats a minute. 1, 2, here we go. 2, 2, 3, 4. 3, 2, here's the fill. 2, 3, 2, here's the fill. And I think you can see me doing it. Hopefully you can hear it, but I'm keeping time on my left foot when I do the fill. Just playing the quarter notes. See? So when you do the fill, well, you've got this going underneath it. Okay? So try and practice that. It's a little tricky, but I want you to get the left foot going. Now, doing number 2 as just an exercise, as a drum warm-up exercise, you're going to have your feet doing what you did on number 1. All of these exercises, you'll be doing eighth notes on your feet. So if the tempo is 80 beats, right? Which is a good spot to start, but don't worry, if it's too fast, slow it down. I mean, go all the way down to 60 if you need to. But I'm just doing it at 80, okay? So eighth notes on your feet, right? This is just the drum warm-up exercise without the groove. Here it goes. 1, 2, here we go. Feet, right? 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and eighth notes, eighth notes, eighth notes, eighth notes, right? We bring the hands in. It's that pattern, right? Kek boo boo, kek boo boo, kek boo boo, kek boo boo, right? Okay, I'm gonna play it. Here we go. 1, 2, here's the whole thing. All right? So just keep working those, man. I want you to get those solid, and then we're going to move ahead. And I think we've touched on exercise number 3, but I'm not going to talk about that too much right now. Those are paradiddles. Right, left, right, right, left, right, left, left. Well, we'll get into those later. Anyway, dude, you have a great week. Work on this. And once we get this sheet done, we're going to move on to new things. And I want to keep pushing forward with regard to playing along to music. So keep doing that, okay? Play to the Shawn Mendes tune, play to the AC/DC tune, play to Billie Jean, Michael Jackson, and then check out that Nirvana tune, About a Girl. I think I emailed it to your mom. If not, I'll send it to her again. And I'll also make sure to send along the Sweater Song for Weezer. I think those are going to be good songs for you to learn, all right? That's about it. And you folks take care, and we'll see you soon, okay?